Welcome to another weekly Slice of Fitness podcast brought to you with Pineapple. This is Rupert's podcast. Just talking to Josh tonight about fitness, about other fun things that we do and why we use fitness to keep ourselves level-headed and having a good time. So I think mostly tell us a bit about, you.
Well, where do I start? I'm Josh, obviously. Currently got 2 broken feet.
Yeah.
So I've hobbled in here today. Had a minor accident a few weeks ago. So.
Yeah, tell me about that then if you want to share.
I broke both my heels at the same time. I was saving a puppy from a burning building. And I did a very noble act and saved it.
Yeah.
Which resulted in me breaking both my heels, unfortunately.
So it wasn't misjudging the depth of a balcony at a Limp Bizkit gig?
It could have been that, actually. Might be slightly confused.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was it.
Yeah, was it that?
That was it.
That? But then also, I think I met you down doing CrossFit. So we're obviously both big CrossFit fans, and we do CrossFit New Wave.
I do CrossFit, but I think I suck at CrossFit, but I quite like sucking at CrossFit because... So I'm a fighter. I go to fight gyms, and I have to be... I have got to be on my game and I've got to be half decent at it. But CrossFit, I am dreadful at CrossFit. But that's why I like it, because I'm so bad at it and there's no pressure on me there because I know I'm crap and it's fine. So
it really helps with your conditioning for the boxing.
I see it. It's very challenging for me, and that's why I enjoy it, because it's just completely different. Yeah.
Right, and then tell us about the boxing then. So I didn't even know about your boxing.
I've been fighting my whole life really. Boxing, kickboxing, Thai boxing, bare knuckle boxing.
Nice.
So yeah, I've been around a bit.
And coaching as well?
Yeah, I've coached.
Some lads?
So yeah, I've been coaching for 11 years, coaching kickboxing and Thai boxing.
What's your favourite, so like what got you into them? What was your favourite part of that adrenaline that brought you into the boxing world?
I've just always liked fighting. I think fighting's a very primal thing for some people. I think like with me, it's just ingrained in me. It's just part of who I am, fighting. So I think when it's part of who you are, it's just easy. It's natural to get involved with it.
Do you find that it also? It helps. When you've got that primal adrenaline to keep you going, it gives you a bit more than just going to the normal gym. I know you obviously do CrossFit and you go to the normal gym as well. And when you get into a sport like that, you have to get fit for it. But do you find say, for example, anyone who's not done boxing or whatever, there's that buzz about it that at least it gives you an activity to do within the activity?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the best ways of certainly getting fit, and, you've got to be on your game all the time. It's not like CrossFit. If you're sparring and you're not fit, you're going to get hammered. You're taking punches left, right, and centre. So you've got to be on your game and be on it. So
I think also what I liked when I did a bit of boxing and at an MMA place was that you keep pushing yourself because you want to keep up with everybody else. And similar to CrossFit, you keep wanting to keep up with everybody.
Yeah, you certainly got to keep leveling your game up. Well, like I say, you're going to get found out in fighting. It's you and somebody else. So you've got to be, there's no shortcuts in it because you're going to get found out.
Nice. Yeah, I do think it's an incredible good way to look at getting into fitness rather than just being stuck at a normal gym.
Yeah, it just puts a completely different spin on it. I think fighting, even if you don't want to compete, you're just there to... It doesn't feel like you're working out, if you know what I mean. The fun aspect of it is so much that it takes away the working out aspect of it.
Yeah, I think that's what I was trying to say. That's what I was trying to figure out, was the activity in the activity. It doesn't mean just going for a 5K run. It gives you something to focus on.
Certainly.
Yeah. And then we did talk about weight cutting a little bit. That was quite an interesting one. You were telling me about some crazy sauna.
Yeah, I mean, that's one reason why I wouldn't fight these days, is the weight cuts are horrendous. Sitting in saunas for hours and hours on end after not drinking for 36 hours. It's just, my body just holds on to it a bit more now as well as I've got older.
Right.
I used to be able to cut a load of weight off, but now my body holds on to it so much that I don't think I could get down to where I should be.
So, yeah, and so for those of you who might not understand what on earth that means, obviously I know most people probably have seen it before, but like what sort of weights would you be looking to lose for a fight?
Over a full camp, I'd lose 8-9 kilos. Easy.
Insane.
Yeah.
That's mad. And you do that in what, 12 weeks?
Yeah, but I'd lose like the last, probably like 4 kilos in the last week in just water. So
Right.
it's a lot of water to pull out of your body. It's
Yeah.
very tiring.
And so kind of feeding that then into like say mindset, for example, what sort of mindset do you have to get to that stage?
I feel like even things like learning, like the water cut really it's such a hard thing to do. Like even the hardest bit of fighting is certainly before you get in the ring. Like getting in the ring is a piece of piss. It's
Right.
that water cut, that training like every single day, getting up and running every single day, and just what you put yourself through is so difficult that getting in the ring, the cage, that's easy, mate. That's not.
And obviously most people, you have jobs while you do this as well.
Yeah, I've worked full time and had to train like
Yeah.
flat
Around
out,
that?
Yeah, like 5-6
And not
hours.
fall asleep at work.
Well,
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't
It's
mean that
happened
literally.
a few times.
Yeah, but I mean, imagine like, yeah, because obviously you get busy dads that are like trying to do triathlons. You get people that want to do the marathon.
yeah,
And
man.
obviously, yeah.
I've had to work like 10-hour days and still put in like 5 hours of graft on, sprints and
Mental.
training and pads.
So obviously you are still coaching at the moment.
Yeah, I'm still coaching. Like I said, I've been coaching for a long time. Obviously, I love coaching because I think one of the best things about coaching is you can take some lads that have sort of got nothing and they've got nothing good in their life, and apart from just, they have no good outlet, and you can see them going the wrong way. And certainly when I was growing up, I was a bit of a shit, and I've got in a lot of trouble in my time.
Yeah, I think a few of us have been there.
And I can kind of steer people in a better direction as much as I can. Whereas, I can have a little bit of input in how they do things, try and sort of reel them in a bit where I can. A lot of the young lads, they respect me because they know, I've been there, I've done it. I'm not just some other person telling them, don't go out and do this, do that. They kind of respect it a bit more from someone who's been there and done it.
Mm.
So I enjoy that aspect of it, like, trying to help people out and change their lives in that way.
Okay. So then what? So what sort of like fights? There's quite a lot of amateur fights. Then still, these guys come to you and say, "Look, I've seen this. I want to do that."
I've got guys who are, I train from completely novice guys to pro K1 fighters. So
oh right, okay.
I've got like some guys who are some really decent guys down with us at the moment, and yeah.
Whereabouts is that then?
I teach over in Hazelmere.
And how's that been doing that with the wheelchair?
I haven't been coaching for the last.
Joking.
I've had to get my guys to cover my sessions for the last few weeks because obviously I'm not mobile.
No.
I'm not sure I can coach with 2 broken feet.
Mind you did do some good wheelies though. I saw
I did some good wheelies
on Instagram. And actually, not meaning to be like a king of segues, but I randomly once I was in France with my mate working on a boat, and we went out on the absolute piss the night before. Well, just on the piss anyway. It was just a night of drinking, and apart from running along the dock, which was amazing, and my mate kicking a boat hook in the middle, literally just ran straight into it, didn't even see it on the floor, just kicked it full pelt at running speed. That was amazing. Then the next day we've got to go up the winch, up the sail, right? And I've said, I'm smaller than my mate a little bit, and so I said, I'll do it. So he puts me in this harness, right? And then he's like winching me like this. And I'm an inch off the ground, okay? So I'm right at that embarrassing point where you're not looking cool while doing this, yeah? I'm an inch off the ground. I could have climbed and I'd be higher, right? And I'm floating there like this at an inch high. And I've just farted. Right, and I've shouted, and I've gone to my mate. I'm like, let me down. I'm like, let me down, and he's like, no, and I'm like, let me down, and he's like, why? And I'm like, I've shouted myself, and he's like, just pulls out the phone, and he's like, this is brilliant, and he just pushes me, and I'm spinning like a piñata, like, put me down, like this, like a baby, like with just shit coming out. Yeah, no. It just made me think of it because of funny French food. So yeah, that was muscles and drinking for the night before. But no, so then you got back home from France, and and then you don't go there much often, no?
I I'm not really a fan of France.
Yeah.
But everyone was really horrible to me.
Well, you probably looked like a refugee at the time.
Yeah, that's true.
With your sat nav to make it really.
And I had solar panels that I'd taped to my bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. The reception wasn't great with people. They just didn't look impressed at me.
And you were checking in with everybody on live, trying to talk to yourself, no?
Yeah.
So a bit like a podcast then.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Do you still have, like, because of like the cloud and things like that, do you still have any of the original footage, or is it all gone? Do you
I think I've still got some. Yeah.
Yeah? You can maybe edit it together.
I think I've still got some. Yeah.
Would you ever do anything like that again?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah? Maybe a bit more organised this time.
Yeah, that was a massive fail. Like
Yeah.
big. That's the problem with me though. I just wing everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it, it'll be alright.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think, you know, Fraser. So I'm pretty sure Fraser and a couple other guys climbed up, not the biggest mountain in Wales, but one of them, with a rower, and then did a 24-hour row on the top. Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, maybe we should organise something like that for a charity.
Yeah, anything that doesn't involve my feet, I'm keen.
We could wheelchair somewhere.
Mate, you don't realise how hard it is to wheelchair.
Yeah.
I did 2 miles, and
Yeah.
it took me. So it was a mile from my house
Yeah.
to get some chicken from the kebab shop, and then a mile back, and ordering and getting food. It took me 2.5 hours. I did a mile an hour. A mile an hour. What you don't realise is when you're in a wheelchair, right?
Yeah, you can push this.
The slight camber of a path
Yeah.
means you're only ever pushing with one arm
right.
ever. So you'll just push one arm, and then any slight undulation in the path, you just tip into the right. Like it's on the way home. 4 people stopped and said, "Do you need some help?" I was like, "Fuck me, I must be smashing this." If 4 people have asked, I was like, "How bad does it?" It was pitch black when I was going back as well.
Yeah.
I was just like, "No."
With your chicken on your lap.
Like once you've done like 100, 150 meters, 200 meters,
Yeah.
like slight uphill gradient in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Mate, your arms are cooked.
Yeah.
It's so you don't realise how difficult it is.
So do you think if that's going to help with your boxing, if you go back to that, you're going to now have like shoulders of steel?
So, yeah, I stupidly took the wheelchair back the other week when I was like, "Nah, I don't need it anymore."
Yeah.
But now I kind of miss it.
Yeah.
It was good, but it's good exercise. Yes.
You should have a go in one of those basketball ones. They're obviously like 50 times lighter. And
Yeah,
the wheels
I
are
think
50
it
times bigger.
Didn't help that the one that I had wasn't designed for like
Day-to-day life.
day-to-day wheeling it to go and get some chicken.
No.
Like, and the tyres are like plastic. They're like solid rubber.
Yeah.
But they're like plastic, basically. And they get no traction on them. So, and they just spin half the time.
And you're just more and more depressed. You're just seeing they're depressed.
Just
not going
spinning.
good.
It's like that. I'm like, oh.
You crazy man.
Yeah.
Well, I think there we go. So maybe what we should do is we should try and do like some sort of like marathon wheelchair thing to raise money for kids with wheelchairs.
I looked up the time of a wheelchair because I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I looked up the time of a wheelchair marathon. It's half the time of a normal marathon.
Yeah, but
they're certainly not going 2 miles an hour.
They're racing. They're racing ones, aren't they?
Yeah, they took like an hour. Like I think it's like an hour and a half in a wheelchair. I was like, what? They're not doing my 2 hours to the chicken shop and back.
Well, you were in like a hospital wheelchair, like the big grey NHS, one like that, not like a 15 grand carbon fibre wheelchair.
I looked at hiring one though.
Okay.
I was like, I'm going to hire one. I looked. The one I was going to hire was just like a sports wheelchair.
Yeah.
It was like 200 quid a week. I was like, man, I could hire a motor for that much.
Yeah. Oh, and I saw you though. You went to some like regal old house, and you did manage to like be that guy that got to ask to go on a mobility scooter.
We were at Wisley.
Yeah.
Wisley Gardens. Yeah. If you're disabled, they give you a mobility scooter. So
Was that good?
yeah, it was alright actually. It's quite fun.
Yeah. Oh, come on then. Seeing as we've come this far, you were also with your dogs. Dog or dogs?
Got a dog. Got a Doberman.
Yeah. Big commitment to Doberman.
Got a Doberman called Six. Yeah, he is. Well, he's not very well, so he is a bit of a commitment. You can't really leave him. He's got a dodgy heart.
But also before that, that's the biggest dog to get, no? I mean, Catherine, my wife, had, what were they called? Bull balls.
Yeah, they're a serious dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had 2 of them, and they were outside dogs only.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah.
I was looking at. I had a Presa Canario, which is quite similar.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just a big fighting dog.
Yeah, it was massive.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was crazy.
But they don't live long, I don't realise this.
No, none of them do. None of these big dogs live that long.
Like what, 6, 7 years?
Yeah, but like I said, my Doberman was never going to live past 1.5 years.
Right.
They said it was impossible for him to live longer than 1.5 years, and now he's 2.5. So.
Wicked. Well, he's got a good dad, so that's
He's got a
probably why
good
he's sticking
dad.
around.
And we spend a lot of money on him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Would you ever get like a little dog?
I got a cat the other day.
A cat?
Yeah.
Okay, how's that going?
The cat and the dog are actually best mates now.
Really? And
yeah.
how are you getting on with the cat?
I quite like. Do you know what? I wasn't really ever into cats.
Yeah.
But we got Bengal, so it's like a little leopard.
Okay. Yeah. You love your proper pets. That's
Love
a proper
animals,
pet.
yeah.
That's a proper pet.
Yeah,
Well-
love animals. We had a squirrel last year. I had a squirrel for like 6 months.
Right.
The squirrel still
You
comes.
had a squirrel.
Yeah, I had a pet. So my mate was a tree surgeon, cut down a tree, and there was a squirrel. I ended up with a squirrel. So I kept him for like 6 months. I took him to the
A
gym.
baby squirrel.
He used to come to the gym with me, sit on my
No
shoulders.
way.
sit in my
I missed
pocket.
that day.
Yeah, but no, let him go after like 6 months when he was like strong enough. But now
Yeah.
he still comes like every day for food.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, we've got a little squirrel next door. I don't think he thinks I'm going to get close to him, but I throw him Doritos. I don't know what you feed your squirrel.
He ate, this was avocado,
Yeah.
fresh, like this, he was a gourmet squirrel.
Yeah.
This guy ate like, I think now has gone back out in the wild, he's like, what is going on here?
Yeah, where's my
Where's
avocados?
Not a lot of avocado kicking around in that pill.
Yeah, no, I think my squirrel likes old dried Doritos. Well, that's what he gets.
They'll eat anything. They're like, yeah, but he was really, so he would just sit on my shoulder or in my hoodie pocket.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
I go to Tesco's to pay for something. He'd like rub his round and like stick his head out. The people, person's at the cash desk, like, what the hell?
What was his name?
Squizzer,
Squizzer.
yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I love it. The more we talk, there's just, yes, and I had a pet squirrel. I forgot that bit. That's why the podcaster should do more research into his interview. How's the cat? How's the angles looking? Rob the angles. You not starving, mate? Yeah.
Where's my screen? Huh?
Oh my days. For those of you watching in black and white or watching at home, you have to go check out Squizzer getting on the weekend vibe. Oh my gosh. So what, he was a baby and the tree came down and he didn't know where to go?
Yeah,
or he
so-
just latched onto your mate and didn't
Yeah,
want
my
to leave?
mate ended up like a few of them.
Ah,
The rest of them, they died pretty quickly.
why? Of shock?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, were they tiny?
when you cut their tree, yeah, they were like tiny little babies.
Oh, right. Like little things.
Little things.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we fed him with
Mental.
like a syringe.
Oh
filled
my
with it.
gosh, like one of those Instagram videos that you
Like-
get addicted to watching, that little mom super cool that lived
That's
in
it.
someone. Did you see that one? And they had to like put moisturiser on him every day because he didn't have natural moisturiser.
I
They had
have seen that one,
to
yeah.
keep him in a pocket.
I'm that guy that puts the moisturiser on the random
Oh,
animals.
well there you go. So if any of you have random pets in the Surrey area and need them looking after,
Yeah, what else have I had? I had a jackdaw as well last year.
what on earth is that?
It's like a magpie.
Okay.
Found an injured one of those. Saved that, came and lives with us for
Yeah.
a bit.
What was his name? Jackie.
Jackie, yeah, just but every morning as well we have Maggie the magpie that comes and that shares his breakfast with the magpie.
Right.
So they come every day, and there's 2 massive crows that come, Ron and Reggie, the crow twins.
You're clever.
They come every day as well for feeding.
So really, a goldfish would just be a bit boring at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they go.
So you got the cat, and the cat is called. Sorry, what was his name?
The cat's called Zulu.
Zulu. It's a
Zulu.
girl. Zulu.
Zulu, the
Yeah.
Zulu warrior. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, the only reason I asked about why cats, because like some people aren't used to cats who've got dogs because they're not used to the amount of service that they require.
Well, I think nothing needs as much service as my dog. I would have got him another dog, but he can't play with another dog because
Yeah.
he's got a bad heart.
Oh, yeah,
It
he
just
is.
like overstimulates him. So like, just get him a cat.
Yeah, just get him his own cat.
Get him his own cat.
And what, they sleep in the same?
Yeah, they get on really well.
Oh, that's
yeah, they
so
have good
cute.
times.
I'd love to see some videos of that as well. Any other funny boxing anecdotes you had? Like maybe not you in them, or like anything you've seen, like when you were coaching someone?
I don't know.
What's your best knock? Well, you can't remember. So that's it. Not the best time you got knocked out, but what's the best knockout you may have seen?
Knocking people out's pretty fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You've knocked people out?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, they just go like that. You're just like,
It's a good feeling. It's certainly
Yeah.
a good feeling. Yeah.
It's funny, you don't normally get that.
Yeah.
Mind you, I don't listen to a lot of boxing podcasts, but I do know a guy who's setting one up very soon. Two of my mates are actually looking to set up a boxing podcast because they know some old boxers. So maybe you can go on that then. Now you'll be a seasoned professional by then. Yeah, and then what with Muay Thai though? So like, also like, just randomly actually, because you're making me think of random questions. When you get full on kicked in the chest, is that like,
it hurts.
is that? I take it it's quite surprising.
Getting kicked in the head, in the chest, in the legs.
Yeah.
Getting kicked anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hurts.
And what about the shin strengthening stuff? Have you done any of that?
Yeah, my shins are pretty dead. So my
Dead?
shins are like when they tattooed this leg, it felt like really nice. Where my shin's so dead,
Right.
it was like actually quite soothing. I was like, oh.
Oh right, so it's none. So were you doing that whole like kicking bamboo
It's just
trees?
from kicking over the years, it just goes dead. I think. So.
Mental man. Oh, your crazy stories. Well, that's some good extra ones to mix in the middle. I like that. What we don't have to keep recording. Just relax. It's fine.
It's all right.
Yeah. Do you want some sushi?
No, I'm good, thanks.
So what other what on earth was the Hells
What other
Angels
random-
things about?
I was actually working on a door in a club, and it was the Hells Angels 50th anniversary,
Yeah.
and 10 of them come in, big fuckers. I've got CCTV of it, so I'm
Yeah.
going to show you. There's like 10 of them come in, and they are like, all of these blokes are 120 kilos each. They're big bikers. And I was in there, one of them hit the light, and I was like, mate, don't hit the light.
Yeah.
And he went, and I turned around, and he went, bang, hit the light. I was like, mate, can you not hit the light? And bearing in mind, it's a club, there's only 3 of us on that door, and you've got 10 unit Serbian Hells Angels. He hit the light, and I was like, fuck's sake. And they all just, I was like, mate, and they all just, 10 of them just battered the life out of me.
For nothing?
Yeah, to the end of the club, I got to the, I hit the door, went out the front door, and then you see me, I'm out the front door, and I was like, right, fuck this. I just went back in swinging. You just see me open the door, just windmilling around. And they came out the club and just literally 10 blokes just dragged me down the road, just stamped me in.
Oh.
Yeah, but I actually ended up getting put on a Section 8. So I kind of got my own back. I ended up on a Section 18, which is one below murder. So
Okay.
I got nicked the next day. I went to hospital. The police took me to hospital. Then the next day, the police were like, we need to get a statement off you. Rung me up. Because basically after they kick shot at me,
Yeah.
rung up some boys and it all got done. And then, but there's on CCTV of me towing this geezer in. But the police, so that weekend, because it was the 50th anniversary, I think 25 of them got nicked that weekend.
Right.
So when I got arrested, they were like, look, you're on a Section 18. I was like, what's a Section 18? They're like, well, the only thing higher is murder. I was like, right. And they're like, yeah, if you're convicted, it's 7 years to life. Right. So I'm sitting in the police cell and I was like, shot the absolute shit kicked out of me last night, and now I'm looking at 7 years to life. But yeah, but at one of the points, one of the old Bill would come and interview me, and he kind of like, when the tape went off, he was like, sort of looked at me like, you're going to be alright. And I was like, I was just going off his sort of like nod and like at me for like, because he's hung over me for like months. So they just, I think they just bailed me for it, and they were like, right, you've either got to come back or nothing's going to happen. And I was like, so it hung over for me for like 3 or 4 months. I was like, am I going to do 7 years to life? Or am I? But yeah, they just let it slide in the end.
Well, they all disappeared, no? The guys all left.
The guys, wow, we left, a few of them got left on a bit of a bad stay.
Oh.
But yeah, actually, they nicked a load of them that shot at me, and a load of them went down for it, actually.
Oh, really? Oh.
All fun and games.
Yeah. when I was in Colorado, I was on a ranch doing some filming, and the main ranch guy, so the I can't remember what you call it, like, anyway, the head ranch, so he works for the guy who owns the ranch, so, and his name was I'm not going to say his name, but we were you know, I'm an English lad. I'm young. I'm like 19. And anyway, so go and meet him. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? He's like, yeah. And he's like, you want to come for a drive? And I like to have a look around the Colorado mountains. And I was like, yeah, sure. And we're driving around and my old man's come with me. And we were like, oh, so what did you do before you got into ranching? And he's like, oh, I was in the Hells Angels. And then I was like, oh, okay, right. And he's like, yeah, you know, without cowboying and ranching now, you know, it's like I would still be in that life. And then he's like, yeah, you know, when I got out of jail 10 years ago, and we were, you know, by that point I was so young, I was like, what'd you go to jail for? Yeah. And he's like, oh, you know, we drove, we dug a trench and buried a school bus in the ground and built a meth lab in it. Yeah, as you do. Yeah. And amongst other things. But I mean, he was, like, he did a lot of kickboxing, but he was called like a sergeant in arms, which basically meant that if a fight like that had kicked off, he would have been the guy that the Hells Angels would have sent in to get his guys out.
Oh, okay.
So to protect civilians from their own folk. But yeah, I mean, he was a badass dude. And then obviously ended up on a ranch in the middle of nowhere, because that's pretty much the only amount of people he was allowed to speak to at that point. Yeah. But yeah, no, random world.
Yeah, they're an interesting bunch.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to join a biker gang tomorrow, I don't think.
No, it was all over the news, actually.
Was it?
Yeah, because like they'd taped off loads of the high street. Like, I think that loads. And when the lot that got arrested with me, you can see on the CCTV, you can see them like picking up a massive knife. Obviously, I didn't know that at the time. Yeah. So wailing in on them, but yeah, they all got nicked with like loads of knives, whips, everything.
Whips.
Yeah, a bladed whip. One of them had. I was
a bladed whip.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not just your average whip.
No, stingy.
Yeah.
Maybe it was his favourite whip.
Maybe, yeah. He's into that sort of thing.
So obviously, you and me and mates down the gym. I'm sometimes completely oblivious to other people's backstories because my ADHD, I couldn't remember probably anyone's name unless they were covered in tattoos and kept gassing out when they were doing like extreme. No, I'm joking. But tell me about. So I went on your Instagram because I was like, oh, you know, checking in on you when I saw your feet and stuff. And then tell me about what you did during lockdown. What on earth was that about?
Good question. So lockdown, started running a bit. In lockdown, I was like, I'm getting all right at this. I was running quite a lot. And then it must have been the pubs reopened. We were sitting at the pub, me and about 4 or 5 of my mates. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to run to France. And they were like, what? I was like, I'm going to run to France. They were like, are you sure? What are you on about? I was like, I'm going to run to France tomorrow.
Right.
I was like, fuck it. I'll do it for charity. I get sponsored. So £5. For every £5 I was sponsored, I'd run a mile. Okay. So I ended up running 506 miles.
Whoa.
Into the middle of France.
Yeah.
Which was, it was an experience. Me by myself with just a tent.
A tent? So you didn't even cheat and stay in most
I stayed in a few hotels like along the way when I needed to charge my shit up and that. Right. But yeah, I was just sleeping by the side of the motorway most of the run.
Wow. And I saw you had like a little GPS thing?
I had a GPS thing that didn't work.
Great.
So that was useless.
Because you probably would have had to have learned how to use that before you ran.
I couldn't work out how to load the maps. I'm a bit of a technophobe. Yeah. I couldn't work out how to load the maps on it.
No, I don't think anyone knows how the maps work.
So I took it with me just to look.
It looked really good. I must say.
Absolute shit. But I choose Google Maps, which was basically because I can't work out how to plan anything in my life and I just wing it. Yeah. I didn't really think about anything, obviously. So as soon as I was on the ferry, I got a phone call from one of my mates. He was like, "You're going to France, aren't you?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "My sister works at the other end. So the migrant camp there is insane. It's like you can't walk through it." And I was like, "What do you mean I can't walk through it?" Right. And like they'll just attack you. So I was on the ferry, and this was like the first point where I thought, "Shit, I got to make a plan." So there was a map on the wall of the ferry, and I pulled it off, and I looked for the closest town. I just Googled it on my phone. I was like, fuck it. And the ferry got in at 3 a.m. It was pitch black. I just Googled the closest town and just fucking ran. Just ran. Head down. Just ran. I was all right.
Mental. Yeah, I think I also saw one of your little videos when you were still in the UK and you were like waiting for the ferry and you were just like, this is just a grim part of town.
Oh, yeah. That was, where is it? New Haven?
Yeah.
Never been to such a
No.
shithole. It's a terrible place.
And so sorry. So while you were doing that, you're obviously using Instagram Live or Facebook Live or something like that, weren't you?
Yeah.
And what it built. You already had quite a following, but did it build up quite a bit?
It built up a few followers. People just a lot of people because they had nothing to do.
Yeah.
It was COVID. And they
Stuck
were
at home.
just watching me like, this guy is such an idiot. What was he
And
doing?
were people just pinging you fivers all the time?
Yeah. So my mates are like waiting till they were like, haha, just putting a load more money. But it got to the point where I was like, had to cut it off. I was like, I'd lost like so much weight because I was not eating anywhere near enough calories that I should be.
And you didn't even have a support team or anything
I had nothing.
like that?
I didn't think about anything. So I didn't really consider that there would be quite big gaps of where I couldn't get food and water.
Right.
So like, I'd be running, I'd be like, shit, I've got no water.
Because you're what? Next to a motorway near a
Next to
field.
motorway. And I wouldn't be I would be like saving my water, like having a little sip, and being like, I don't know when I can fill it up again.
Right.
But,
when you finished in France, right?
Yeah.
Where were you and how on earth did you get back?
So I finished in France in literally the middle of nowhere. I got to a point, I was like in the middle of a field, 506 miles deep, and I just stood there and I was like,
Yeah.
It was mentally really tough because I was so drained and I couldn't work out how to use the maps to get to the next place.
Yeah.
So I kept trying to find I kept trying to stay within like 50k or 100k of the town. So I knew if I get into trouble, I could always get there. But it was just really struggling to like navigate through France. Was so difficult.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really think about, that when you're really tired and really hungry,
Yeah.
it's actually quite difficult to work out where the fuck you're going in a foreign country.
It just all looks the same.
Yeah.
It's
So
just fields.
it got to this point and I was like, I looked at myself. I think I lost about 9 kilos in those couple of weeks.
How long were you running for in France?
I think it was 16 days.
Of pure running, and
Pure
you made
running.
500 miles in 16 days.
Yeah.
Which, for those at home who are good at maths, will be able to figure out that that's a shitload every day.
Yeah, so
How many is there?
19 marathons in total, I think.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. And so then what? So what? You're literally in the middle of nowhere.
I was in the middle of nowhere.
You reached that breaking point.
And I was like, right, I've got to get out of there. So I was like, I'm done. Which, it was actually more tricky getting home because I was in the middle of the countryside trying to work out how the French bus... I can't even work out how the bus system in this country works. Like, the timetable blows my mind.
Yeah.
And I was trying to work it out in French, and I was like, I don't know, I just started getting on random buses.
Nice.
Until I found more and more civilization.
And then just buying food.
Just buying food, just saying, Paris? Paris?
Oh, wow.
And then, I managed to get a bus to Paris, and I got the Eurostar home.
Really? Just rocked up to the
Just rocked
Eurostar,
up,
said,
yeah.
here we go, here's my credit card. Please, can I go home
Get
now?
me home.
And were you just munching the whole
Yeah.
time?
Yeah.
So then how long, just out randomly, like, how long did it take you to put the weight back on? You weren't, because you're also not doing any of this scientifically, so you're probably just eating KFC and McDonald's. You're not having like...
I was literally just eating McDonald's because I was trying to get as many calories in as I could.
Yeah, but butter.
But
Butter and like oats.
when you're in the middle of nowhere, you've not got time to go shopping for butter and oats. Go to McDonald's. And I was just that was another problem. So I'd go to the machines, the self-service,
Yeah.
and it'd be like number 88, and they kept calling it out in French, and I don't know what fucking 88 is in French. So I'm like, just lost in McDonald's, hoping someone's going to give me food.
So what were you sort of eating? Like 3 Big Macs?
I was literally smashing McDonald's. One night I just went out and treated myself to a steak, but it ended up steak tartare.
Yeah.
So it's raw beef.
Yeah.
Oh, mate,
with an egg on top.
I was so hungry.
Yeah.
Literally, I was dying.
Yeah.
They just brought me out this massive plate of raw beef and a raw egg.
Yummy.
So,
Did you
mate,
just smash salt and pepper all
I was
over
just
it?
really unhappy and ate it very sadly.
Yeah.
Not as much as I could. It's like dog food eating.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It is tough. I just randomly, me and Catherine were in Portugal, and I thought I ordered he said veal, and I was like, yeah. And he's like, how do you want it cooked? And I was like, medium rare. Anyway, so he brings it out, and it wasn't veal, it was pork, and I'd ordered a pork steak. rare. And I ate most of it before I realised. Because veal's light, yeah? So veal's really light, pork's obviously light. But I ate half it and I was like, this is really light veal. Like, even for veal, this is light.
It's so light, it's rare.
Yeah.
It's raw.
Yeah. And then she's like, looks up the word in Portuguese and she's like, oh yeah, that's pork. And then I'm like, oh great, I've got worms or something. But no, it was all right. So what would drive you to like change your mindset like that and have that power within inside of you to like do something absolutely insanely crazy like that?
I just really enjoy a challenge like that.
That's more than a challenge, dude.
I love a challenge.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's just I think a few people as well, like, just like to see you not be able to do things. I like to prove that I can do it.
Yeah.
So,
okay. And was anything also around lockdown, like, I don't know, like, was anything at that point just, you and me have kind of a similar, like...
Lockdown was pretty wild.
Yeah.
I mean, I was partying way too much
right.
as well. Literally just the whole summer of going crazy.
Were you on furlough then or not? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I also, so to relate to that, I also had quite a bit of trouble during lockdown. For me, it was just there was nothing to do. And then like, I would think that, okay, you can go to the pub, have some beers with your mates, but then there was no pubs to go to. So like being stuck at home totally gave me a bad routine. And I just ended up like overindulging, drinking a bit too much. And then created a really bad habit around alcohol that I found that with my ADHD and not knowing I had ADHD, I just had to figure out a way to get out of that. So I think, what's your...
Yeah, lockdown was pretty wild for me. Like, it was just way too much drinking and partying. Which, the thing is, I'm all or nothing. So it's like, I'm either going to party flat out or I'm going to train flat out. So it was like, quick, let's not party for a bit. Let's run to France for a couple of weeks. But yeah, lockdown wasn't good in that respect.
I think with both of us, right, I've only been sober 9 months and some other days, right? So it can't have been too... We weren't like, oh, lockdown found AA in lockdown, because it must have been long after that. Because you've got what, a year and I think you sent it to me the other day when you were in hospital.
So I'm now 486 days sober.
Yeah.
Not that I'm counting.
Yeah. Amazing.
I went sober at the end of 2021, I think. So I've always struggled in my life with addiction problems. I've had various problems in my life. 2015, I got really addicted to benzos, like diazepam.
From an injury or just...
I was actually out in Thailand. I just started taking diazepam to sleep. Ended up just getting really hooked on them.
Oh, I did not know that.
I was hooked on them for a long time. And things really got bad with that because I was taking so many diazepam that I'd come back and I was still really hooked on them. Diazepam's one of the only things that would kill you as well if you go cold turkey from it. Yeah. But I went cold turkey. The doctors were surprised that I
didn't have a heart attack.
Didn't die.
Yeah. Always proving people wrong. That could be your catchphrase. Josh proves people wrong.
So that didn't kill me, but yeah, I've had a few spouts like that in my life with like bad addiction with and opioid painkillers. So the end of 2021, I got a really bad addiction again to painkillers. So from like sort of September, November, I was just like smashing loads of painkillers. It was started for an injury.
Right.
Had a shoulder injury, took a few painkillers, then it just never bodes well. I had a really bad addiction till I cut it off in January, and I was like, enough's enough.
Yeah. Stopped
it, went cold turkey, and like when you go cold turkey from taking opioid painkillers, it's like coming off like smack. You're like sweating, you're crying, you're just like, wow. It's a really horrendous experience. So that lasted for a few weeks, and when I got over that, I was like, do you know what? I'm never touching like drugs, alcohol, anything. Like I'm through with it. So.
And you've done all of that without AA, NA. You didn't go. No one dragged you down to one meeting.
No one dragged me down there. But I've lived enough of my life with like having enough darkness in it that it's, you know.
Right.
as soon as I started getting sober, I was like, I wouldn't go back that way. My mind's been a constant battle through things like drugs and alcohol, that to get away from it, it's amazing.
So that's insanely. I didn't know that. But like, yeah, that's insanely deep, man. With that though, like obviously, you know, you love training. Like you've been a boxer, but now how much do you like love your training as well? Then
I don't just love training. I need to train.
Right.
If I don't train, then I get really down. Like training's like makes, especially things like sparring.
Yeah.
Sparring's like my really happy place. No place am I ever happier than I am when I'm sparring.
Right.
It's like there's no other noise around you in your head. You just clear minds, just you and someone else. It's just, it's bliss for me. Absolutely bliss.
Yeah.
But training in general, if I don't train, then things fall apart.
Right. Yeah, and I think so. Imagine now, just for me, and like maybe some of the people that might be listening to this who are maybe trying to get into more fitness and stuff like that. Their addiction might be maybe food or something like that. Like it seems insane for people. Like they always say, well, of course, you know, you're addicted to fitness or you love fitness. Yeah. They don't really get that buzz we get from it, because at the start, which I'm sure, you know, you've been doing fitness all your life, so you probably can't remember it, but like, you know, it's so hard for some people to try and get started.
Yeah.
You know, so like, do you have any previous clients who maybe came to boxing because they were massively overweight, or?
I think a lot of people don't realise how good it is for you. That's the problem. They don't understand how much it frees your mind being like getting fit and that. They just don't understand the benefits of it because they haven't given it a try enough.
Giving it a try. So give it a try.
Give it a go, yeah.
Yeah. And then it doesn't always sound like we're the crazy people like saying like, oh, fitness is just like the thing to do, you know, like.
Yeah, well, I mean, it saved my life, that's for sure. I mean, I'd certainly been in a lot darker place if I didn't have fitness in my life. Yeah,
I think same for me. I have to get my sessions in the week, and I do try and make them they are non-negotiables. Like, you know, like Catherine, my wife, is very supportive. If I say I've got to go to the gym today, or she'll also say like, you haven't trained today, and I'll be
go,
you got to go.
Yeah, you know, it's even like these last few weeks with my broken feet. Obviously, I've still made sure like I'm training every day. Like, I'm still just doing what I can do because.
Well, and more, because I saw you've now got strict muscle ups with no feet,
with
no kit.
Feet, no
He's
kit.
got strict muscle ups with no kit.
Fuck the kit.
Yeah. Is that a new Limp Bizkit song?
I would kit, but I just haven't got the coordination, so I can't do it.
Fair enough.
Like a fish out of water.
Yeah.
I have to train. I have to train, and because otherwise my mind goes wild. So
yeah, you got a nice home gym set up as well.
I've got a pretty decent home gym set up. Yeah, it's quite good. So through lockdown, actually, one of my mates started selling gym equipment.
Yeah.
So he was importing like truckloads of it from China, and I was
okay.
like, at this time I was like, mate, can I? It's like one for you, one for me.
Nice.
So yeah, I've got a nice setup at home. Just borrowed.
And so you got a nice setup at home. You go to boxing as well, and you do CrossFit. So really, like that's pretty good. You got a good mix there.
I do as much as I can. Yeah. If I had more time though, I'd train more. It's just
Yeah. Well, we've all got to work at some point, don't we?
Unfortunately, so. Yeah.
And have you any other like random like hobbies? You like base jumping or abseiling or anything like that? No.
Just balcony jumping.
No. Good tie-in. That takes my tie-in link. That was good. Good. One of the things I want maybe people at home or people is to like, you know, obviously, you know, apart from having sick tattoos and, you know, you do look pretty trim most of the time. I think, say, for example, people that are not into too much fitness at the moment or are struggling to get into fitness and find the reason why to do it, is that maybe we're just powered a little bit by crazy sometimes.
The crazy keeps you going.
Yeah.
You need the crazy.
Yeah, and converting that energy
yeah.
into a bit of fitness. And I suppose, okay, so like randomly follow me here, like as you said, that quiet time, I get that quiet time from my ADHD in the middle of a WOD, like, and sometimes then I'll also get the other voices that come in that are like, oh, you're knackered, give up. Yeah. And then you fight that voice, and it's like, again, to that primal thing you were talking about, where it's just you and that one voice in your head.
Yeah.
Instead of the 12 voices, it's just
you
that.
battling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And it's like, see how far you can go.
The
And
hardest person to beat in life is yourself. So,
Yeah.
you know, you just got to keep battling through it.
Yeah, and sometimes that does end up in like either laying on the floor thinking your chest is going to explode. But no, I mean, and then, yeah, so just like, no, obviously I love New Wave. I'm sure you love New Wave too. But like, just a bit like about what's some of the other buzzy things that you love about maybe your boxing community or about New Wave, about doing fitness that's got a bit of community with it?
The fight world's a good vibe. It's got a good connection. Like, it's quite a small little world as well. Like when you're at big fights, like all the local gyms, we all like know each other.
Yeah.
We all see each other. And, like, we go to other gyms and train and spar. And
Right.
So it's like it's a good like community, a good like vibe goes with it.
Yeah, nice. And so is your gym then still open for people to come down?
Yeah, man.
And what's the name and the address?
Conflict. So just look us up.
Yeah.
Team Conflict. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the description as well. And are you doing any like beginners courses?
We do come from like complete novice all the way up. So
Yeah.
we've got guys fighting on some of the biggest shows in the country, and then we got complete beginners. So.
Good. All right. Well, yeah. So if you are looking to like get into some boxing or whatever, then you need to hit Josh up. I will put more details in the bio and all of that fun stuff. Otherwise, please like and subscribe and listen next week for more fun advice on how to get into fitness, stay fit, be a bit less crazy, be a bit more crazy, and as always, yeah, just like generally like enjoying what we do. So cool. Thanks for coming, buddy.
No worries. It's been a pleasure.